Good morning. Morning. Okay, so I want to jump back a little bit here. The plague of lice. Um, Magician said this is the finger of God, and so a rabbi at some point said, "Okay, well, we're going to apply the finger of God to all 10 plagues." And then when they were crossing the Red Sea, it said the hand of God was against the Egyptians, so they suffered 50 plagues while crossing the Red Sea. And one thing I forgot to mention last time, the grievous murrain. We have chapter 8, verse 3. Behold, the hand of the Lord is upon the cattle which is in the field, upon the horses, upon the asses, upon the camels, etc., etc. So, the Egyptian magician said, "This is the finger of God," applying it to one plague. God himself is saying, "I'm putting my hand in this other one." So, again, this whole, they suffered 50 plagues crossing the Red Sea because it's a literary mathematical trick. It's really not literal. It's an analogy. Because here we have this other one where God himself is saying, "No, no, no, my plague is my hand, not just my finger." And again, he's making an analogy here. It's when you put your hand to do something, you are doing it. That's all it is. So there is no, this is so many whatever. No, it's you aren't counting fingers and saying, this plague is this serious, this plague is that serious. No, it's just a matter of I'm putting my hand to do something. I am causing this. So just wanted to go over that before we got to the next plague, which is the plague of boils. And the Lord said unto Moses and unto Aaron, Take you handfuls of ashes of the furnace, and let Moses sprinkle it towards the heavens and in the sight of Pharaoh. And it shall become small dust in all the land of Egypt, and shall be a boil breaking forth with blains upon the man and upon beast throughout all the land of Egypt. And they took ashes of the furnace and stood before Pharaoh, and Moses sprinkled it up towards heaven, and it became a boil breaking forth with blains upon man and upon beast. I looked up a little about boils. Didn't look up blains. My big question was, what's the difference between a boil and a blister? Because I've had blisters. I've never had a boil. Okay, so boils are bacterial in nature. Blisters, depending on the cause, some diseases come with blisters, and they're viral. They're usually viral in nature. However, I've never had a viral blister. I've had your basic irritation. Working with your hands sometimes. Your shoes don't fit properly. It rubs. Rubbing against the skin will cause a blister. I've had that before. Extreme heat can cause a blister. So it's some blisters are viral. Most, the most that we think of are not. So there's the big difference there. Boils usually form around hairs for some reason, like the hair follicles. Boils generally, they can be caused by lack of hygiene, not getting clean, lack of nutrition, vitamin A deficiency, zinc deficiency, some protein deficiencies can cause boil. Some people get boils when they lose weight, just because they're dieting and they don't look at the nutrition they should be getting. So that's mainly it. Now, boils tend to be about pea size, but they can grow to be golf ball size, according to one site I looked up. So I can see where this would be a plague. And because they are bacterial in nature, if you don't treat them, they can spread. And a viral blister can do the same thing, but the day-to-day blisters, that just come from irritation, not necessarily. So I can see where this would be a plague. And I've seen artwork of the 10 plagues, and of course, when they go into boils, they have the big golf ball sized, or larger even. And it didn't even necessarily have to be that to be annoying, because again, these are they can spread. It's where the dust hits you, which means you're getting just boils all over. So normally boils don't start in great number, but like I said, they can spread. But in the case of the plague, you might find multiple boils. Uh, Normally they tend to start in joints, so like inside of the elbow, armpit, whatever. Again, the plague, it's wherever the dust hits you. So that's one thing, This comes down to, yes, this is more than just an annoyance, I think. Like I said, I looked, the frogs were an annoyance, the flies might have been an annoyance. Boils are a little more so. It's much more personal, at least. Um, Sort of the fact that we're going to take ashes from the furnace and sprinkle them and they'll turn to dust sort of goes to the original cause of a boil. Uncleanness or lack of hygiene sometimes causes a boil. So that sort of fits in. It's just the nature of how it happened. Okay. And the magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils, and the boil was upon the magicians and upon the Egyptians. So again, this is one, God's still cutting off the Israelites from the Egyptians, so it's only affecting the Egyptians. The magicians are still trying. I mean, they couldn't do the lice. Didn't mention them trying the flies. The grievous murrain they didn't try to do. Yep. Did they? Okay, here all the Egyptian cattle are sick. Well, fine. We'll make the Israel cattle sick. Can't do it. Okay. So were the magicians trying or not? Because here they are standing for Moses, and it is Moses went before Pharaoh. Apparently, Pharaoh called the magicians and said, "Okay, we're gonna test this out again," but it didn't happen that way. And the Lord hardened the heart of Pharaoh, and he hearkened not unto them, and as the Lord had spoken unto Moses. And that's the end. So again, it doesn't say how long the boils were here. Doesn't mention Pharaoh saying, "Hey, take the boils away and I'll let you go," and then changing his mind. It just goes straight to this. And this is sort of like the murrain. Grievous murrain, it was a disease. The cattle died, the plague was over because there were no more cattle. The boils will go away on their own eventually. If left untreated, they can spread, but they will eventually go away. Or you can treat them and they'll go away faster. So we don't know for sure, if the Egyptians were doing anything to treat their boils or not, but we do know, given time, they will eventually go away on their own. It's a matter of do you want to wait or not, because they are, from all description, they are an unpleasant thing. Like I said, blisters are the closest thing I've ever had to a boil, and they can be unpleasant. I imagine, and I've only had like maybe 2 or 3 blisters. I had blisters on my hands once from doing work, and so that was the closest I've had to having like 3 blisters close to each other, as opposed to having boils all over your body or on multiple places on your body at the same time. I can see how that would be even more annoying than blisters. So that is it for the boils. And I will see you later. Have a nice day.